Okay, so we are live. There is a little delay for the actual YouTube channel to start. So we're just going to wait while more people join us. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our very first South Salem virtual kindergarten orientation. Bear with us. This is our first time ever doing this, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully all will be good. Right now we have about 32 in the studio, so we're just going to wait until we have some more numbers. And if anybody has any kind of question, you're just going to type it into the comments. So we'll give it a few more minutes. Okay. Okay. We have about 36 people. I am going to wait until about 2 o'clock. We have about 1 more minute till we're officially started. So we will get going as soon as it hits 2 o'clock. Hi, Mrs. London. You are welcome. Okay, so it's 2 o'clock. We're gonna get started. For those of you who maybe joined late, or who are on right now, this is going to be recorded on the same YouTube channel link. So if something went too fast or you want to hear something again, it will be there for your pleasure to look at afterwards. So I'm so happy to see we have a whole bunch of people joining us. This is wonderful. I will at the end ask if anyone has any questions. So if you have any questions, please hold them to the end, and then I'll moderate that at that point. So we're going to start. We figured we wanted to all meet our kindergarten teachers. So we have them live, which is actually really great because the majority of the time when we're actually in school, you don't get to actually meet the teachers because they're actually with your children when we're in school doing this orientation. So the benefit of doing this virtually is that you get to see them live. So they are going to all just take a moment to say hello, and we'll go from there. So do you want to start, Mrs. Brockett?
Hi, my name is Karen Brockett. I've been teaching for 19 years. I've been in Port Washington for 17 of those 19 years. I love teaching kindergarten. I can't imagine being anywhere else. I enjoy seeing those little kids leave as big kids at the end of the year and watching them grow throughout the year. I look forward to meeting you and your children in the fall.
Thank you, Mrs. Brockett.
Hi, I'm Joanna Strinies. I also have been teaching for 19 years. I have been in the Port Washington district for 17, 1 year at Daly with Ms. Brockett, and then the rest at South Salem. I've been teaching kindergarten for about 4 years now, and it is my absolute favorite grade because they notice everything, which makes each day unique and special. So if your hair is a little more gray one day, or your nail polish isn't quite perfect, or you put on a new lipstick, they will definitely tell you. And it's very funny. And being with them all day long and just reading stories with them and doing crafts and engaging in learning experiences just makes the day fun and exciting. And watching them grow from these little kids to these kids that can write and read and draw and do all these things they couldn't do before is just incredible. So it is by far my favorite grade, and I'm happy to be here with the other teachers to welcome you to Salem.
Thank you, Mrs. Streamies. How about, we went to next, Dr. Castillo?
Okay, hi, welcome to Salem. My name is Lisa Castillo. I taught kindergarten in Manhattan for several years before my family moved to Long Island. I've been here in Port Washington for almost 25 years. I've taught every elementary grade except first, but there's still time. And I was an port enrichment teacher for 2 years. I'm a fan of Shark Tank, and in that show, young entrepreneurs come and they try to sell the sharks on their great idea to get them in on the ground floor. And of course, the great idea of education is that we're trying to create lifelong learners. And here in kindergarten, we're at the ground floor. We get to provide a foundation, of course, of knowledge and skills, but also, and maybe even more importantly, of the attitude of curiosity and inquiry, and the confidence to go forward and explore and to ask questions. So who wouldn't want to be a kindergarten teacher?
That's great, Dr. Castillo. Thank you. And Ms. Schneider, how about for you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Heather Schneider. I've been teaching in Port Washington since 1998, if that's unbelievable. And I was a 4th grade teacher and a 5th grade teacher, and now I'm a kindergarten teacher. And I love being a kindergarten teacher. There's something that's magical about early childhood, and every day is different. And just the love that you receive, and the magic of watching them learn how to read is just, it's irreplaceable and unparalleled. And this will be, when your children come into Salem, it will be my 4th year in kindergarten, and I'm very excited to meet all of you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Schneider. So at this point, we are going to have the kindergarten teachers leave our studio because we have so many people that we want you to meet. We can't have everybody in the virtual studio. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. And hopefully some of the children are watching so they can see the faces. And I'm loving that I'm seeing all of some old faces. I see some Lewis, and I see Brooke, and I see Alexa, and the Dorfmans are all watching. So it's good to see a lot of returning families as well. So thank you so much, kindergarten teachers. We look forward to hearing more from you as the summer comes on and placement letters go out. So thank you so much, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so now we are going to meet our HSA. I am going to ask if I'm going to have Mrs. Weiss come into our studio, and I'm going to have Mrs. Christopheradis added to our studio, and I'm going to have Mrs. Scott join our studio. So we just need, that's it. I think we have everybody here. So welcome. This is our HSA, and we have our outgoing president, Mrs. Scott. We have our senior president next year, Mrs. Christopheradis, and we have our incoming president, Mrs. Greaser, who is the Weiss's family. So if you want, I'm not sure who's speaking first, but we would love to have you be part of it.
Okay, I'll speak first, and everyone can chime in. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Salem. We're so excited to meet you virtually. My name is Erin Scott, as Dr. Ferrante mentioned. I am finishing up my last of my 2 years as co-president of the Salem HSA. I worked with Kara this past year, and as well as a number of other years. She'll be with you next year, as well as Sue. They're both fantastic and wonderful people who I'm happy to call friends. And you're going to be in great hands for next year, and they're going to lead the charge. For those of you who do not know what an HSA is, it's called an HSA because it stands for Home School Association, which is similar to what you may know as a PTA. So our Salem HSA is here really to enrich the lives of your children at school through student programs and events. We spend all year long, especially our summers, developing, creating, and financially supporting activities for all of your kids. And we even have some adult programs throughout the year for some social fun interaction. In a typical year, we have events planned starting the end of August with kindergarten popsicles on the playground, and our events run throughout the entire year, all the way up through the end of June. That is a typical year. Of course, we all don't know exactly how everything's going to shake out this fall, but I'm going to give you a list of what's to come. Some of these may be tweaked because of guidelines from the state and the CDC, but we hope to have all, or if not many, of these amazing events for you and your kids. So hold on tight, because here we go. It's a long list. Kindergarten popsicles on the playground. We have a newcomer's breakfast on the first day of school. Student photos, an annual family fall festival. We also run cultural arts assemblies. We have a fall and spring book fair. We handle the blood drive. We have a game night. We run an Art to Remember program. We have the talent show, pizza workshop, and our annual spring carnival, which is tons of fun. We also are really proud that we run programs for all the grades, including Alvin Ailey Dance Workshop, the Circus Project, Taekwondo, Submerged Storytelling. We also like to bring in new ideas. We also fund field trips for many of the grades. And then for our fifth graders, for those of you who are brand new to Salem, your kids can look forward at the end of a 6-year career there. We, as the HSA, also run a great fifth grade program, including dancing classrooms, spirit night, our end of year party, yearbook, and an entire New York City experience field trip. We also run 2 great fundraisers throughout the year. One is Ladies Night Out and the Salem Social. So we hope you'll all be attendees at these great events. They're tons of fun, and it's a great way to unwind and meet other people and also raise money for the school. The HSA is also involved in community outreach programs. So we have a book exchange every year. We also help with treats for troops. We have a winter and spring clothing drive, and we also have food drives throughout the year. We like to be very involved locally in Port Washington. We encourage all our families, and especially the kids, to start being charitable and helping others in the community. You'll notice starting end of August, but right in the beginning of September, that we have a newsletter that goes out every single week. You get it on a Sunday night. It will tell you what's happening that week, give you some highlights, and also has some links to what's going on in the community as well. Our website is www.salemhsa.org if any of you are interested in going on and taking a look. Next week, we should have an email going out to all the kindergarten parents that tell you how you can order school supplies for next year. This is partly a fundraiser for us, but also, especially with COVID, a great way to get school supplies for your kids without having to leave home. We hope to see everybody on August 26th. We currently have planned the kindergarten popsicles, and I think there's also a bus orientation that day. If all goes well and we have it in person, we will have a wonderful Salem apparel and spirit wear available. And if for some reason that August 26th date doesn't work out, we will have apparel on sale online. So we encourage you all to get excited for the beginning of school and buy some Salem t-shirts. Basically, welcome to school. We really encourage you to join the HSA next year, volunteer to help run a committee, stop any of us and say hi. It's a great way to be involved with your kids. We would also like to remind you to vote for the school budget. It's only by absentee ballot this year, and they have to be in by June 9th. The HSA does support the budget, so we are encouraging everybody to get your ballots in, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall in case any of my colleagues want to say something, but welcome.
Thank you. I always say it's such a great way to get involved, and I say this all the time, that Salem is really a special place. I definitely am biased, I have to say, but it is really a special place, and our teachers are phenomenal. But what even adds to all the experiences at Salem is all the extra. So the extra stuff that HSA brings to our programs, all of the extra programs that even the Ed Foundation, Hearts, and all of those different organizations brings to us, and through programming, really makes this enriching experience for our students. So definitely get involved. Definitely, if you can't be there during the day, that is fine. We have plenty of working parents that volunteer. So please get involved. Whether you're a dad or your mom, please do so. So Thank you. Anything else for the co-presidents, or are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
You're good? Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for joining us, and we are going to keep on meeting some staff. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
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 Okay. So for our next screen, we are going to be seeing some of our staff is live and some of our staff is going to be recorded. So I have Mrs. Cagnard, who is our E&L staff, and she has made a recording for all of you.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Canyard. I'm one of the E&L teachers at South Salem Elementary. E&L stands for English as a New Language. We help students who speak other languages with their listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills in English. When you registered your child for kindergarten, you were asked to complete a home language questionnaire or an HLQ. If you included a language other than English anywhere on this HLQ, then we will be in contact with you and your child within the next few months. We look forward to speaking with you and can't wait to get to know your children. Have a wonderful summer and stay safe.
And then for our next E&L teacher, we're lucky enough to have two E&L teachers, and that is Mrs. Guarino. She is next, so we will play her. Oh, sorry. Sorry, everybody. This is technical difficulties on my part. I apologize.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Guarino, and I am the other E&L, English as a New Language teacher at South Salem Elementary School. I speak both English and Spanish, so now I'm going to repeat what Mrs. Canyard explained about the E&L program in Spanish. Hola a todos, soy señorita Guarino, la otra maestra de E&L en South Salem Elementary School. Voy a repetir lo que explicó señora Canyard en español para las personas que su primer idioma es español. E&L significa inglés como nuevo idioma. Mrs. Canyard y yo ayudamos a los estudiantes que hablan otros idiomas con sus habilidades de escuchar, hablar, leer y escribir en inglés. Cuando registraron su hijo o hija para kindergarten, les pidieron a completar un documento que se llama Cuestionario de Idioma del Hogar o HLQ. Si incluyeron un idioma diferente al inglés en el HLQ, estaremos en contacto con ustedes y su hijo o hija en los próximos meses. Esperamos hablar con ustedes y conocer a sus hijos. Que tengan un verano estupendo y mantenerse a salvo todos.
So that's our E&L department. We have two, and they work with all of our children who are still in the E&L program. Many times they push into the regular classroom, so a lot of your children, even if they're not in the E&L program, you'll be able to see them. So they're a wonderful resource for us. At this point, I'm going to ask the co-presidents if they could exit the studio, and I'm going to invite Mrs. Duffy into the studio. And we have each elementary school in Port Washington has a guidance counselor, a school counselor, which is very lucky. Most school districts on Long Island start school counselors in 6th grade or at the middle school level. So I feel like we are very blessed to have her as part of our team, or just have counselors. Port Washington in general makes sure that we take the whole child into consideration. That includes the mental health piece. And I think especially in light of everything that's happening right now, we're very concerned as a district and as a school that our children, our children's mental health is in a good space. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Duffy. You can speak now.
Hi, welcome to Salem. I am Mrs. Duffy, the school counselor. There's a lot that we don't know right now, but what I do know is that Salem is a great place where we look to make sure each child is having all of their needs met. And we really focus on their social emotional needs. And fortunately, before this started, we do have a rotation schedule where I go into each classroom once every 6 weeks, and I do a whole class lesson. working on their social emotional needs. In addition to that, I do work with the teachers to make sure that if any children are having difficulties or challenges, they can always come by my office and meet in a small group or individually. And as always, communication is key. So I welcome any emails, phone calls for any situations that may come up both in and outside of school. So welcome to Salem, and I look forward to meeting all of you.
So for those of you who don't know, I've been in Port Washington for the past 14 years. I started in 2003, and I actually was a school counselor also in my past life at Weber Middle School for many years before, and this becoming assistant principal and then coming to Salem. Next year is going to be my 6th year going into Salem as a principal. So I also have the school counselor background. I take that approach for most things that we do. And I think we have a very strong mental health team. So I thank Mrs. Duffy for speaking. And at the end, if there's any questions, I can answer them or Mrs. Duffy can answer them. But just know we are definitely planning a reentry plan for next year for our children, because we know they're going to have been home for a very long time and understand that is going to affect all of our children. So we are taking that into consideration. So thank you so much, Mrs. Duffy. I appreciate you speaking. And next we have our speech and language teachers, Mrs. Rakowski and Mrs. Anaceto. Every speech and language teacher, both speech and language teachers will be going in to the kindergarten classrooms and in the fall, if we're back, and going to be performing a screening on them about basic concepts. But I'm going to let them speak a little bit now through their recording.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Anaceto.
And I'm Charlotte Sarowski, and we're speech pathologists here at Salem. We'd like to welcome you and your children. We service children with speech and language needs through the Committee on Special Education and through a multi-tiered support service at the building.
All kindergartners will be screened for basic concepts necessary to follow directions in school. Results will be shared with you by your child's kindergarten classroom teacher. We look forward to meeting you and your children. Have a wonderful summer. Bye.
They're another wonderful resource that we have at our schools. They are part of the brainstorming. If the teachers are seeing that they're seeing a child maybe potentially struggling, so they're part of our team and also help try to provide resources and strategies for teachers if children need help in the classroom. So they're a wonderful wonderful resource, excuse me. Next, we have other part of our mental health. It is Dr. Risi. I'm going to have her come into the studio right now. I'm going to add her in. Hi, Dr. Risi. How are you? And she is a psychologist, so she's going to talk a little bit about her role at the school.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Salem. Salem is truly a very special place, which is near and dear to my heart. I've been at Salem since we first opened back in 2004. Your children will absolutely love it. My role as the school psychologist is multifaceted. I oversee all of the services for special education, for at-risk students, and at Salem, we really have a great team who work very closely together to monitor the needs of our students. We are constantly collaborating with one another to ensure that we are meeting their needs. And given these challenging times, we have all been working together in ways that I know are new and unfamiliar to all of us. So focusing on students' mental health has always been of the utmost importance to us. And I think now is certainly at the forefront of education, especially during these unprecedented times. Please rest assured that your children are in good hands with us. We will support them in any way necessary to ensure a smooth transition to kindergarten. I'm always available, email, phone call, happy to check in with your children. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them all, meeting them in September. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Risi.
You're welcome.
I much appreciated. So yes,
Welcome.
this is really our mental health team right here. You can see us, Dr. Reese and Mrs. Duffy, and Ms. Costello is in the waiting room as well. She'll be who's our nurse, and she'll be talking to you in a little bit. But before we get to Ms. Costello, I'm going to introduce you to our special education teachers, Mrs. Kay and Mrs. Adio. And they work with students who are have individualized education plans. And they also are part of our team, and your children, whether it's kindergarten through 5th grade, would see them in the classrooms and also help provide resources and strategies for our teachers.
Hi, kindergarten families. My name is Kara Adio, and I'm one of the special education teachers at South Salem Elementary. My job is to work with students who require an individualized education plan through the Committee on Special Education. My job is to pull students out in small groups to work on individual goals, but I also push into general education classrooms, so there's a very good chance that I may be working with or meeting your youngster. I hope that this video finds you healthy and well, and I look forward to seeing everybody in September.
And for our next special education teacher is Mrs. Kay.
Hi, I'm Jessica Kay, one of the special education teachers at South Salem. My job is to work with students who have been classified by the Committee on Special Education. I take students out of their general education classrooms to work on specific goals, and I also push into the classrooms to work with the students in the general education classroom. I will get to know many of the students within the regular ed classes by pushing into those classes.
And that's our special education staff. Next, we have our nurse. I'm going to let her into the studio, and she has some information that she needs to discuss with you. So let me just add her to the stream right here. Hi, Mrs. Costello, welcome.
Hi, Dr. Fronte. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our South Salem family. I've been in Port Washington schools for about 17 years, and 12 of which I've been working at South Salem Elementary School. My primary background in the past has been emergency nursing and pediatric public health. So South Salem, being a nurse at South Salem just suits me very well, and I love working with my team. I have to go over these boring little details just so you know what's required for school. So the school physical and immunizations are required for the first day of school. Your current physical must be within 1 year of the start of school. So that means if your child had a physical from anywhere between September 2019 to September 2020, that's a current physical and that is accepted. Your certificate of immunization must be handed in addition to that for the first day of school. And if the immunizations are not up to date, sorry to say the children can be excluded from school. Your medical forms, what I mean by the medical forms is that if you need a physical form or you need a medication form for Tylenol, herbal drops, lozenges, or the food allergy action plan, these forms can be downloaded from the district website as well as the South Salem Elementary website. It's important that before the start of school, that if your child has a medical issue, that you need to communicate with me. You can email me and I'll be glad to make contact with you over the summer. You know, issues that are running are food allergies, asthma, any heart problems that prevent your child from participating in physical education, urticaria, which is a hives that when a child runs out in the cold, they can have an anaphylactic, those kind of things. Or most important, what happens to kids a lot is bloody noses. If your child gets a lot of bloody noses at home, I would love to know about this because I can really help educate the teacher and we can teach everybody how to manage that and be safe. The emergency contact form is given to you at registration. Why that is a critical piece here in the nurse's office is that if there's an issue and, you know, like a bloody nose that doesn't resolve or the child falls, you know, we want to get to you as quickly as possible because that is so calming to the kids that they know that we've made contact with you. So if you get a change in your cell phone or your work number, you can email me and we'll update the emergency contact form for you. Another important responsibility are the sick calls, informing us that your child is out for the day. You can call the attendance number, but we also need to know why they're out and who their classroom teacher is. Important is if your child has had a fever, we have that 24-hour rule that they must stay home 24 hours after the fever resolve when they're not on any Motrin or Tylenol. So if your child had a fever at noon, because I get these are the questions all the time, and the fever breaks at 6 o'clock at night, they have to remain home the next day for 24 hours so that they're healthy to return back to school and that we keep the other children equally healthy. It's also important that you communicate any kind of contagious disease like impetigo, strep throat, pink eye, physides, chickenpox. If your child's been recently exposed to the COVID-19, I do send home alert letters to the parents just to make the parents mindful that these things are floating around the classroom. And also, there are parents that are on chemo and immunocompromised. We would really want them to be notified of this. I look forward to you joining us and seeing you in September. I'm being very optimistic, and I hope you have a very healthy summer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Costello. So now, this morning, I ran up to Port Washington because I realized that many of you might not have actually know what Salem looks like from inside. You only get to see it from outside. So I am definitely a better principal than I am videographer. So bear with this because it flips in the middle. But I'm going to take you on a little tour of at least the first floor of Salem. Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Ferrante. I figured I would take us on a little video tour since we can't actually be in school together right now. So here we are in front of South Salem Elementary School. And I am outside. And just so you can see, this is the playground that we play at for recess. There's 2 playgrounds outside. And I am going to now take us inside the school so you can see a little bit of the classrooms and the hallways for those who have never been inside Salem, only been seen the outside. So now we're walking up the main entrance. This main entrance is where you'll be coming in for the majority of the times if you have to come get your child or come for an event. This is the sign-in desk where you would have to give your license. We always require a picture ID for students, for parents who come to visit their students. Then you'd be allowed into the building. This is our entranceway. And as you're entering, we have 2 hallways. You can either go down this way or you can go this way. And this way is the kindergarten wing. So we're going to take you this way right now. I will walk you into Ms. Schneider's classroom. This is the first classroom that you'll hit as the kindergarten. So you can see what a traditional kindergarten classroom looks like, one that is not at home right now. So these classrooms are really missing the children. We have cubbies for each child. There's a whole bunch of different centers. Every room has a smart board and a carpet. Center time is an important part of our day at kindergarten when we get back to school, hopefully. You'll learn more about this, but this is in the afternoon where children really learn how to play together on their own. And there's different types of centers. So you're looking right now at Mrs. Schneider's kitchen center. And I'll take you into some of the other classrooms so you can see. So continue on in the kindergarten wing is Ms. Brockett's classroom. We keep all 4 kindergarten classrooms in their own area, and then the 1st through 5th grade classrooms are upstairs in the main second hallway. So this is Ms. Brockett's classroom now. As you can see again, a carpet, the smart board. Here are some more centers, the kitchen center. She has her post office there. She has a building center, which is right here. Some blocks. Here's our skip counting number mat where the children learn how to skip count from 0 to 100 by tens. Our classroom library, leveled reading books, and some more cubbies. I'm going to take you now down the hallway. I'm going to show you the cafeteria. I'm not going to take you to the other two kindergarten classrooms because they're all pretty much the same. But these are the two kindergarten classrooms right here. You'll see Miss Castillo's class is right here. She has a very similar type of room. And then right next door is Miss Triani's classroom. Again, our main purpose is to try to keep these classrooms very bright, fun, and engaging. So as you're leaving the kindergarten wing, you're going to walk down the hallway. And this is the main hallway of our school. I'm going to take you right into the cafeteria so you can see what the cafeteria looks like. In this hallway, we have our E&L classrooms. The nurse is in this hallway. So I'll show you the nurse's room right here. Mrs. Duffy, our school counselor. That's the nurse's office. So it's a quick little walk from the kindergarten wing. And Mrs. Duffy's office, also very quick. And here is our cafeteria. Please don't mind the mess right now. We just had the students pick up their belongings, but this is our great cafeteria with our Salem signs, our Salem mascot, which is the star, Junior Viking Star. Children can buy lunch or can bring their own lunch. And this is the staircase that takes you upstairs to the second floor. We had the staircase just put in at the end of last summer, actually. So that's our quick little tour. Thank you so much, and we cannot wait to see everybody in September. So that was the quick tour. And there's another whole second floor. A lot of the kindergarten parents always say we never knew this floor even existed, but it does. And we're really excited to have you. I know that there's a lot of uncertainty about what the fall looks like, but I do promise you that we as elementary principals are advocating for your children, that if we are back in September, that we will be trying to figure out a way to have another type of orientation for you to come in so the children can actually be in the building before the first day of school. So that's something that we definitely think is important for their transition. And I also want you to know, for the first timers out there, and normally when we have a room full of us and there's mixed first timers and returning parents, at least the returning parents can ease the first timers' minds and hearts a little bit. I promise you, as first time parents, your children are going to do great. Even if they do have a little bit of a hard transition, the mental health team that you see on the screen right now, all of us work so hard to make sure that your child transitions well. I know it's going to be a hard day. I know when your first one goes off, and it's going to be probably filled with tears. But the biggest thing I can say to you is to try not to show them the tears, and show more of the excitement. Cry as soon as the door closes, and let them see how excited, and let them know how confident you are that they can do this and that they're ready for kindergarten. That's really important. So at this time, if anybody does have questions, please, you can write it in the live feed on the YouTube channel, and we can start answering some questions. I do have some people that emailed me some questions, so I'll start with that. One person wants to know about the security. So if you notice on the tour, when you first walked into that main entrance, there was that security booth. So that is your own, you get buzzed into the front door, the first door. The other second door is locked until you give your license and provide, and it gets checked through a machine. You'll get a guest pass, and then once that procedure is done, then you will be allowed into the building. We do, by state law, have to have a certain number of drills a year. So we do fire drills, we do lockdown drills, and we ensure all of the safety of the children at all times. Another question was about bullying, and what do we do about bullying? So I have to say, I don't mean to pat ourselves on the back too much, but we have very few cases of bullying in Salem. We have cases of where children are not nice to each other? Of course. But the true bullying sense, we do not have. We have a very restorative mindset and a progressive type of mindset. So we believe if a child does something wrong in kindergarten, that we teach them learning lessons, and that things are mistakes, and we make mistakes, and we try to improve upon them the next time. Obviously, if things keep continuing, then there will be different levels and actions taken. But we work collaboratively. Ms. Duffy and myself are always out on the playground at recess. That's normally the unstructured times where we find a lot of the situations happening. So we have a lot of conversations. But I have to say, we've been really doing a great job, I think, about teaching kindness and focusing on how we can treat each other well versus dwelling on all the negative. So that's great. A question, will you be sending some of the links and emails you've mentioned today out to us? After this email, yes, Mrs. Costello is going to be emailing all of the information and medical forms to all the parents. And then I can include in a separate email, if you would like, I can include all of our emails, Mrs. Duffy's, Dr. Reese's, myself, and we will be able to answer any questions you may have over the summer. I'm watching right now. I'm 4 years old and will be in June 5th. I love that. Hello, the Simons. How are you? We're very excited to have the little Simon with us. And Lewis, I can't wait to have you in 3rd grade. We really have a great community. For all those who are first-time parents, I feel like the Salem community is a very strong, tight-knit community. And we all look out for one another. It's a very special, unique place. And I hope you see that yourself when you get here in September. As I mentioned, September, we're not sure yet. Just so you do know, the district is working hard on planning for the fall, even though we have a lot of our decisions are contingent upon what the governor says and where we are with COVID-19. So we will know more as we get closer. But the district does have a task force right now that they are working on figuring out what the fall will look like. Traditionally, and that probably will still the same, placement letters go out the 3rd week in August. So we're starting right now with placement. We're all looking at all of the different factors. We place in heterogeneous groupings, which means we'll do a mixture of all different children from different pre-Ks. We look at different age, birth dates. That's a big thing in kindergarten. We will look at if a child's in E&L. We will look at if a child is getting services through the IEP. So we look at all of those factors and create heterogeneous groupings. So again, that should be to you with the teacher placement by the 3rd week in August. Ms. Duffy, Dr. Reese, Ms. Costello, is there anything that you think I left out or we should add?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think everything's covered,
No,
Dr. Ferrante.
I think it's all covered. Yep. I think we're good.
Okay, I am, just for those who are listening, I am available. I'll be around all summer. So I always say to first-time kindergarten parents that if we're allowed and social distancing is okay and the playground's open, bring your children up to the playground and have them play, get used to the surrounding areas. That's always good for them to do. You can even have them practice some life skills over the summer, how to open snack bags and how to put on jackets by themselves. Because once it gets winter, we go outside. It's cold, but we go outside. I am a huge believer in getting them out of the building, yes. Right? Especially now with all the germs that are can traditionally be in a school, but we want them outside breathing fresh air. So those are little things you can practice over the summer. We know that children all grade levels from pre-K up through 12th grade have lost, some of the live teaching, and we will meet the children wherever they are at. So do not worry about that at all. And we'll individualize whatever needs need to be individualized for your child. So please do not stress out. Please let your children have a summer. Don't worry about tutoring. Don't worry about having them do extra types of work over the summer. Let them have fun. Be structured but unstructured at the same time. I think we all could use the break. So that will be good. There's a question about the screening over the summer. At this point, I do not think we're going to be doing the screening like we traditionally do. For new parents, what normally happens is that in the springtime around now, in May or June, we have the kindergartners come in for a screening. So we were unable to do that this year. So we're not going to be doing that formal screening like we normally do, but the teachers instead will do individual classroom assessments once we're back in the classroom. So we're going to do our best to group heterogeneously without that information and go from there. So, but like I said, we were going to try to have some kind of orientation where the kindergartners are able to come into the building before they start in September, hopefully. Unlike Ms. Costello, I'm being optimistic about
right.
Yes, yes.
So remember, this will be recorded. I'll send up a follow-up email with emails and links and resources for all of you. We are here for you. Like I said, again, I'm here all summer, so please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I know this is a big leap of faith for some of you, but I promise you, like I said, everything's going to be okay. So thank you so much. Oh, is someone in the office to drop off medical forms? You can just send them in. Normally, I'm not sure, to be quite honest, what the hours are going to be this summer. I guess it all depends on how the phases of COVID work through this summer. But if you drop them, I don't know, Ms. Costello.
The fax machine is on 24/7, so they can fax it, and that's 767-5412. They can scan it and email it to me, and then I can print it when I'm in the office.
Right. Or we could snail mail it too if you want.
Or snail mail it. Just make a copy for yourself.
Right. Snail mail, scan, or email. Or fax. And all that will be in the information that Ms. Costello sends out in the email. I would love to say that we would be there normally. The answer is yes. We're there over the summer and you can just drop it off. I just don't know what it's going to be like. So we will more information on that to follow. Will any special education evaluation be able to be done over the summer preschool starting? That all special education. Want to talk about that, Dr. Arisi, a little bit? I think they discussed when the testing was going to start.
Right. We have not been informed of a date yet, but as soon as we are informed that we can do in-person testing, we will definitely proceed with that.
Right. So as of right now, any testing has been halted because we can't do testing virtually. It doesn't give us the right data that we need. So once we get the green light to go ahead with in-person testing, hopefully that will be over the summer. We'll continue with that.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like we are good. So I just want to thank you all for tuning in on this Wednesday afternoon. I really can't wait to see all of your faces, and it's the only negative about doing this way that I can't see all of you and make that connection. But again, reach out to me if you have any questions or any of us. I hope you are all staying healthy and safe and have a wonderful summer. Enjoy every second of it. And we will see you in some way over this end of the summer and beginning of September, hopefully. Thank you all so much. Be well.
Have a good summer.
Have a great summer. Take care.
Thank you.